Personally for me, Jeff Rosenstock's solo material has been incredibly consistent up until this point, and I will spoil my thoughts on this. I think this record still holds that consistency. From the snarky and funny We Cool to probably one of his best albums yet, Worry, and even the kind of lackluster follow-up to that album, Post, which, even if it is kind of like a watered-down version of Worry, still has some incredible moments. The former frontman of the band bombed the music industry as well as the founder of quote-unquote records. Jeff Rosenstock has been not only incredibly consistent, but completely up my alley. Diving into the sounds of pop punk and power pop, these are genres that I grew up listening to. However, the artists that I would listen to are bands such as Sum 41, which, I mean, while I do still have a soft spot for them, they don't have the same energy as Jeff does. I think on this album, the energy from Jeff is amped up to an 11, where some of his best guitar riffs occur. There's also a very anxious appeal to this album too. Really, I get a sense of just anger and anguish at the world. There's also a comedic side to this album too, for example the track B&B. However, there are some other moments on this record that are incredibly catchy, but say a lot as well. One thing that I really love about this album is Jeff Rosenstock's performances, not only on the vocals, which are incredible, but the guitar riffs and just the overall sound of the instruments, which I know it's not completely Jeff, but I think he pretty much organized a lot of this. It's well done, there's a lot of chemistry within these songs. Going back to the vocals, I think some of his best vocal performances happen on this record too. Would I necessarily say this is his best album yet? I don't know. I really haven't listened to it as much as I have with Worry or even his other releases. But I will say, energy-wise, this is his most consistent and his most thrilling as well. It's enthralling. Enthralling, and throttling. The opening track, No Time, starts us off with some incredible drum work, incredible riffs. This is a great example of a lot of the times on this record where the sounds of the songs are just explosive. From front to back, the songs on here are loud, they're punchy, they're chaotic, they're energetic, they're powerful. I also like how some tracks transition into others, like the opening track and Nikes, and I believe there's a few others, like B&B and Monday at the Beach, if I'm correct. Speaking of this track in particular, God, I wish it was longer. It is such a sweet melody and an amazing riff, and amazing just vocals and songwriting. It's just kind of heartwarming in some way. The incredible Ohio Turnpike is a phenomenal ending to this record too. This song isn't as hard-hitting as some of the other tracks on this record, however, I think it balances out the subtlety of Jeff Rosenstock with the bombacity that he can deliver as well. Unfortunately, the track Honeymoon Ashtray doesn't really do that. I think its subdued demeanor doesn't really benefit it in any way, shape, or form, but definitely not a bad song, don't get it twisted. There are other moments on here that definitely don't last as long as the ending moments of this album do. However, some of his longest songs land on this album. You have a good chunk of 2-minute tracks and 3-minute tracks, a few 4-minute tracks as well. Like the title track, for example, which I feel personally the singing is a little awkward and slightly different compared to some of the other songs. Despite that, I enjoy the song as well. Also the same thing for Fame too. Some catchier moments on this record happen on tracks like SCRAM, where the vocals are just insanely fun. The chorus is rockin', it sounds like you and your friends just kind of having a blast together. I also like this moment, don't waste my fucking time, and don't you want to get away tonight? Go kick rocks and die. That brings me to another point on this album, the songwriting. I think for the most part, it's very well done for a pop punk and power pop album. For example, the opening moments of the track Leave It in the Sun, Don't Let Me Know All the Reasons That It Probably Shouldn't Work, or let me know all the things I'll never do. Don't go reframing my truth into context versus you, all aggressive like I got something to prove. State Line is also an excellent example of the great songwriting that can happen on this record. So long, been staying home less than leaving, anxious more often than looking alive, stoned more than feeling, drunk more than sleeping, too loud in Sweden, they turned off the lights, and I take a piece of you. I think personally the touring turmoil that Jeff goes through can be a little anxious and overwhelming. Having that piece of home with you and taking it across state lines is something that he does more often than not. This song also can be echoed with people that are just moving across states, across counties, across literally anywhere. Give me a piece to take home with you. Give me something that I could bring on this journey. It's something that is echoed through people that have friends or people like myself that live in the military. My life is surrounded by military and I have to move over and over and over again. This song really hits different when you have moved a handful of times. While I do like Worry, I really do, I think the potential on this record is for the most part fully realized. The songs on Worry were quick, they're snarky, they're to the point. However, I feel like the compositions on this record are drawn out to the point where they are just the right length. The energy on this record is intense, explosive, and infectious. The songwriting can be catchy, interesting, and also very correct. The songs themselves mostly live in this perfect medium between energetic pop punk and well-written power pop. It's catchy, it's fun, it's sometimes off the wall, sometimes snarky and funny. I really enjoy this album. I personally found it a treat to come back to over and over and over again. Despite some moments on this record being a little less than stellar, I'm personally gonna give this album an A-. It is a strong record for Jeff Rosenstock and a strong record for a very tough to beat year so far, for me at least. But I am curious to know what are your thoughts and opinions on this album down below. Let me know what albums you want me to review next, and that is it. Like, comment, share, do whatever you want. Let me know how I can improve future videos down below. Remember, this is only my opinion because music is subjective.